All right, camera one, audio is running, and we're good to go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. You're listening to Marketing Mondays with Meg, the place business leaders come to get honest, practical, and smart marketing advice. Today, we're talking about how to grow your business with LinkedIn. And my guest is Jesse Witham. He owns a company called Search Marketing Agency, which specializes in search engine optimization, or SEO. And they also do LinkedIn campaign management. And that's really what we're going to be talking about today. Jesse is going to share some of his tips and tricks on using LinkedIn to build your business. So welcome, Jesse.
Thanks for having me, Meg.
I'm glad you could be here. Jesse and I met last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever, for the first time. And he shared so much LinkedIn wisdom with me that I've been doing this ever since we met. And I can't believe how many people I've connected with already and how many people have reached out to me. It's amazing.
It's crazy, isn't it? That's how you and I connected in the first place.
Yeah, right. That's
LinkedIn.
how we met, was through LinkedIn. Because I think you maybe saw the podcast, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, I saw your episode with Aaron Watson.
Okay.
Who is another person I connected with via LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about you. You're new to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm new to Pittsburgh. I've just been here a couple months. I just moved here from LA. I've had a SEO company, search marketing agency, for the last 15 plus years. But I'm new to Pittsburgh, and LinkedIn is something that our clients have been asking more and more about. Traditionally, it was mostly SEO, just digital marketing in general. But in the last couple years, LinkedIn has really taken off, as we talked about.
Yeah, and so, why do you think that is?
Well, it's a combination of things, but I know Microsoft had a lot to do with it, because just a couple years ago, Microsoft bought LinkedIn for north of $25 billion. It was one of the biggest, one of the biggest tech acquisitions of the last decade. Yeah. And they've just put so much time and effort and resources into turning it into a platform that people are going to use and not just use as a resume. Basically, traditionally people have used it as a place they'll make a profile, they'll put up their resume, and they'll forget about it. Yeah, maybe you'll talk to a recruiter or somebody on there. But now that Microsoft has taken it over and pushed for influencers, original content, video, they've made a lot of upgrades to the platform that are making people start to actually engage and use with it more.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like it's more of a social platform than it used to be, so that I'm really connecting to people and talking to people and engaging with people in a way that you would have done on Facebook or Instagram before. But now I feel like that's the place to do that with business people. Yeah,
of course. And the good thing about it is it's not spam ridden. Some of the social platforms are just they're so full of spam and unwanted messages, and LinkedIn has kept itself professional. Yeah. For the most part, you're not going to really see anyone, bashing or being negative. It's a place of positivity, really.
That's a good point. There's a lot of encouragement from business owners and things like that. And I never really thought about that, but you don't see those political discussions or anything. No. And it's interesting because I have seen people on LinkedIn self-policing, like where they'll say, like somebody will put up their vacation pictures or something, and people say this is not the place for that. Yeah, which is really interesting.
Yeah, they definitely. I mean, self-policing is the right term for it. There's any type of negativity that does show up, people report. They they don't last very long. Same thing with occasionally, because I obviously go very, very hard on LinkedIn personally and with clients. So I've seen it all, and occasionally you'll see a spam profile pop up. And maybe 2 days later, that same profile will be deleted. It'll be a blank avatar. So that tells you that when that stuff does happen, it does not last long, and LinkedIn goes in and shuts it right down.
Wow, that's very interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, but the self-policing aspect is a big part of it too. People, they know it's working, they know it's growing, and the last thing that anyone who engages with the platform or gets their business or leads or connections or whatnot from the platform, the last thing they want is to see it start getting spammed.
Yeah.
and that not to work anymore, and people start to leave and become jaded with it. And I know, again, going back to that $25 billion acquisition, I think Microsoft's going to do a pretty good job at maintaining it, keeping it on the up and up.
Well, yeah, they made a big investment on it, so they're obviously looking to make money in it somehow. Yeah. Keeping it clean and pure is going to help with that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. So how are you using it? How should people be using it for their businesses to gain customers or contacts even?
Yeah. Connection requests, outbound messages, as long as they're not spammy in nature, work great. They work extremely well. Obviously, there's the paid platform. If you want to post an ad or you want to promote a job or an event, you can pay the platform to do that. And it's a great platform. But on the organic side, that's where I live and where my clients live, is the organic part of it. So you're sending connection requests to people in your industry. Being a premium member helps a lot because you can target whoever you want very, very efficiently.
And it's harder to target with the free platform, right?
It's limited.
Okay.
You can't really use it as a prospecting tool, let's say. And some people, I'm not saying you should use it as a prospecting tool. A lot of people, they want to keep their connections, people that they really know and they've met in person, and that's totally fine. But it is a great prospecting tool if you do it right and you're fair about it. Sending connection requests along with like a follow-up message is great, as long as you don't make it too salesy.
Yeah. And I get a ton of those. It just irritates me to death.
And they don't work well. So a lot of people will tell you, and LinkedIn actually suggests when you send a request to somebody to accompany a note with it.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence with that.
Yeah.
Because if you've met the individual in person, let's say, sure, it's great to say, hey, I met you at this networking event at the Chamber of Commerce. Happy
Let's
to connect.
Yeah.
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
But if you're using it as prospecting and you're using the Sales Navigator tool, which is what comes with the premium account, right? And let's say you want to target CFOs of the insurance industry. You can go in and say, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, title CFO, industry insurance, go. And now you can get a message that was guaranteed to be seen in their inbox of all of those CFOs.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to go about it. But none of those people are really going to know you.
Yeah.
So if you accompany it with a message that's salesy in nature, hi, I'm Jesse. This is what I do. This is what I'd like to do for your business. Can we book a call? It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. And that's the stuff you're talking about that annoys you and you delete it. So just don't do that, basically.
Yeah.
What I do is I'll just send the connection request. If I write anything with it, it's just short and to the point. Hi, I like to follow your industry. I see you're doing big things. I'd be interested in following what you do here on LinkedIn, at the most.
Yeah.
Maybe just thank you for connecting, because they're going to shut down if they see that sales message.
Yeah.
As soon as they see that message, they're like, oh, this person's trying to pitch me. They're going to shut it down.
Yeah.
So if you're appropriate with your connection requests, you can do it at a big scale and still get most of the people to accept it.
Yes.
And then you can follow up, or you can go on and endorse them, or like their skills, or visit their feed. There's a lot of ways you can engage.
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can engage without directly messaging them right off the bat.
Exactly. I mean, I think if there's somebody on there you're really interested in developing a relationship with, then you watch their content. And when they're posting something, then you post a response, you know, and you can start to talk to them. And the other thing that I think is really valuable is you can pick the people that you want to show your content to. So now you become connected to these people and you start posting things about your expertise. Even if you're not asking for their business, you are showing those potential clients that you're an expert in something that you could help them.
Exactly. It's
like selling without selling, right?
Yeah, that's how I approach it. Again, for the last, I've been on LinkedIn over a decade, but just the last 18 months maybe is when I've really seen a huge shift in people posting original content, following people, commenting, engaging, sharing. That really didn't happen a couple years ago.
And do you think that's because, like with Facebook, it's not organic anymore, that it's a pay to play?
I think that definitely plays a big role in it.
So for those people that don't understand what we're talking about, with Facebook, if you post something on Facebook on your business page, maybe 3% of people, your followers, are going to see it. But on LinkedIn, the percentage is much higher.
Yeah.
Now, it's not everybody, right? It wouldn't be.
I mean, it can be, depending on how many followers you have, obviously. Instagram, Facebook, if you post a piece of content, business user or not, you're lucky to get 5% of your followers to see that post.
Okay.
And it's
on your personal page as well.
Yeah, and they steer it towards whoever engages the most, and it's skewed based on the followers. Let's just say you have 1,000 friends on Instagram. If there's a dozen of them that like and comment on everything you do, they're going to see it immediately. But if there's somebody who hasn't liked a single post of yours in a year, they're going to stop seeing your content.
Okay, because their algorithm is pushing them back.
And plus, Facebook is really pushing towards paid likes and paid ads.
Absolutely. It's a pay to play.
Yeah. LinkedIn is not that way. Again, they're in a growth phase here.
Yeah, so that could change, I guess.
They're trying to blow up. Yeah, I mean, a few years from now, who knows?
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's very organic, and the reach is incredible. The reason is because not too many people post original content on LinkedIn still. Even though a lot more people are starting to engage, they're maybe commenting or liking or messaging, a lot of people are not posting their original content. So if 99% of Instagram users post, which is probably the case, not many people just lurk around Facebook or Instagram without doing anything.
Yeah, right.
LinkedIn is the opposite.
Yeah.
Most people are just lurking around in the shadows, looking at stuff.
That's
Most
a good way
people
to describe
don't post.
I wonder why that is.
I think they're just not used to it. Maybe intimidated. They also just from a psychological reasoning, I think it's because people are used to getting a certain amount of likes and views and follows. If they post something to on Instagram, and everyone on there is a friend of theirs or a family member, they're going to get a lot of likes and comments and everything going up, right? LinkedIn is not that.
That's true.
If you post content on LinkedIn, you're not going to get very many views or likes. Well, you might get the views, but you're not going to get the engagement out of it.
Yes, that's true. I see that to be true.
Yeah. So when you do post a piece of content, though, you're all but guaranteed everyone will see it. Most people still have less than 500 followers, or around 500 followers on LinkedIn. The average profile, it's still a pretty low follower count on LinkedIn. Honestly, I had around 500 followers just 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then now I gain 5,000-10,000 a month. It's all about posting the original content and letting people see it, because people see it for longer periods of time too. When you have a lower follower count and maybe 10% of LinkedIn users are posting content, that content's going to be seen for a long period of time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you're on Instagram and everything was posted within the hour or within the day at least, you can be on LinkedIn and you'll see 5 days ago, Meg posted this.
Yeah,
and you'll still see it.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic news for business owners and people that want to prospect.
Yeah.
Because if you put out a piece of content even twice a week, the majority of your followers are going to see that every time they log in and scroll down their feed for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I wonder, you may not know this, but what does the average person, how often do they log in? Do you have any idea?
How often they log in? No.
I feel like with Facebook and Instagram, people who are users do it multiple times a day.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's true with LinkedIn.
It's definitely not true on the weekends. I have noticed that. Weekends are a dead zone for LinkedIn.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And it's funny because that follows my own personal pattern. Like on Saturdays and Sundays, I try to unplug totally and recharge. So I'm on LinkedIn every Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I'm not the only one, I guess, doing that.
Yeah, it's business though, right? So I mean, it's more of a 9 to 5 office hours type of thing. The best time to post a piece of content on LinkedIn is Tuesday to Thursday between 10 and 3.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to get the most mileage out of your posts, do midday, midweek.
Okay.
Right.
Very
You know,
interesting.
if you post something at 4:00 on a Friday,
Forget it. No one's
forget
going to
about
see
it.
it till
Yeah.
Monday.
maybe Monday people start
If
to
you're
see
lucky,
it.
yeah.
And it goes, you know, there's trend. It's easy to trend right now on LinkedIn. That's another good thing to talk about.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot easier to hashtag trend on LinkedIn than on Twitter or Instagram. So if I'm posting something about SEO, you know, which is my expertise, if I do hashtag SEO, hashtag search engine optimization, and I do a post that's even does decently well, you know, 1,000 views, something like that, it'll hit the first page of trending often.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so doing research into what hashtags are used in your industry the most, and you can see the follower count. If you search a hashtag, they'll show you how many people are following that. So before you post your hashtags, look up and see, first of all, is anyone following this?
Yeah, right.
And you also don't want to go overly generic. A lot of people will do hashtag business, hashtag marketing.
Yeah.
Those are followed by everybody on LinkedIn.
Right.
The
Too
entire
much.
platform is following that. So you want to go somewhere in the middle. You know, you want a good following count, but you don't want to go super generic with it.
Makes
And
sense.
if you can do 2 or 3 hashtags like that, it's surprisingly easy to trend on the first page.
Do you use the same hashtags every time?
No.
So
although-
to your content?
Yeah. So I post 2 types of content really, and me myself, I should get better at this. I don't post nearly as much as some people who are, you know, absolute top of their industry on LinkedIn. You know, some people post every day, and you don't need to do that either. But when I post something, if it's about SEO, I'll always use hashtag SEO. But then I'll pick 2 different ones to go along with it.
Okay.
And then I also post content that's more just about networking and you know, business and leadership and things like that, because those are trending topics in general. So
Okay.
yeah, so my strategy is to alternate. I post something that just I know about that's very, very valuable in my opinion to the people that follow my industry.
Okay.
But then I'll also see, okay, what is everyone out there talking about right now? And let's do a post about that too.
Oh, that's very smart.
And I kind of alternate back and forth between those posts.
That's smart. Really smart. Okay. I like that idea. I haven't done that, so I'm going to have to start to do that.
Because as you get more and more into LinkedIn and you get a bigger follower base and you just see more of what people are doing that are involved in LinkedIn content posting on a high level, you'll see a lot of pandering lately. You know, people do that. They only post videos to talk about something that is trending that day when they really have no business talking about it.
Okay.
I'm noticing that a lot.
Okay.
And the comments that show up on those are starting to get a little negative. So that's the only thing you want to stay away from.
Okay.
You don't want to just say, okay, every day, whatever the top trending hashtag, I'll make something up about that topic.
Yeah.
Because that is legitimately pandering, and you're not going to get a very organic, engaged following doing it that way.
Well, because you're not going to have real value.
Yeah,
You know, if you don't know
exactly.
what you're talking about, then people can see through that,
Exactly.
especially on LinkedIn, where people really are experts at their fields.
Yeah.
You know, you can spot a mile away if somebody is not legit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. There was I wish I remember her full name, but her name is Bridget, and she's a human resources.
I know
person,
who you're talking about.
right? She's a great story.
Oh, yeah.
She started a year or 2 ago on LinkedIn, and she's a HR director of some company. I think it's Trinidad and Tobago or somewhere out there, those islands. And she just started doing a post every day about hiring, HR, internal communications, all the stuff she deals with in her daily life. I want to say she's at least 1 million, if not 3 million followers.
Oh, she's got a huge
Which on
following.
LinkedIn, that might as well be 100 million.
Yeah, right.
On Instagram.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
she's one of the biggest. And all she does is just post honestly about her job, her new hires, her experiences.
Yeah.
And people love it.
Well, and you can relate to things. If you're a business owner, you're a business leader, or you've ever hired anybody, when you read her stuff, you relate to it.
Yeah.
It's very relatable.
Yeah. So if you're posting content that's relatable and honest and helpful, it's going to go really, really far on LinkedIn. And then you just kind of couple that with doing the right hashtags.
Okay.
Because if you have the average, let's say 500 followers, Okay. If you have 500 followers and you post without any hashtags, the maximum is 500 people that can see that. But if you hashtag something that's got 170,000 followers and you hit trending on it, that's now 170,000 people that can see that instead of 500.
Yeah, so it makes a big difference.
Yeah, so you want to keep your content focused on what you know and what's relatable and informative, but just use the hashtags as a tool to expand the reach.
Got it. Okay. That's very valuable. That's awesome. So when you are doing, when you're doing LinkedIn, do you get involved with groups?
No.
You don't?
No.
So some people say, oh, you should be in these groups and it will expose you to more people.
It's very possible. I'm not saying I'm against it at all. It's just not part of my strategy. I mean, there's also a lot of people that's they really go all in on video. You know, they say, oh, well, only post if it's a video because you get 5 times the algorithm reach for it.
Right.
You know, I don't subscribe to that either. And same thing with every connection request needs to have a message attached. You'll hear a lot of these best practices that I don't necessarily subscribe to. Maybe they work for some people, but for me, it's original content posted regularly, engaging with relevant hashtags, and then just outreach. Personal outreach, you know, who do you want to contact in what industry? Send them connection requests and follow up with a nice personal message, and don't be salesy. Those are probably the top 3 things that I suggest to people.
And you make it sound so easy, right? And it is easy. I guess it's just a matter of kind of doing the process and learning it and getting comfortable with it.
Posting the original content's the easiest part, I think. Maybe not coming up with it, but that's just one action. You post content and let it happen. Hashtag engagement is huge. And if you really wanted to get into that, it can get complicated, but it's also very high reward. Okay. You know, if you're, let's use HR, you know, human resources again, for example. If you do hashtag HR, hashtag human resources in the search, not posting it, just searching it, and you go down and look at all the new, all the trending, all the rising posts, and just kind of, if you're a human resources director, just drop your 2 cents into all of those things, right? If you can do that for 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening, search a hashtag and leave your own follow-up comment and make it insightful and helpful, not just great post, you know.
Exactly.
You know, you'll see that great post, a bunch of just generic. That's not going to get you much mileage on that work. But if you make it insightful, and maybe, you know, tag a colleague, tag someone else that you know that does the same type of content, you really get a lot out of that. And another thing about LinkedIn's algorithm when it comes to posting, commenting on posts rather, is your connections will see your post at the top. So let's take somebody that does it very well, like Gary Vee. Yeah. Gary Vee is probably one of the most prolific content posters on LinkedIn. For sure. If out of your, let's say you have 500 connections, again, as an example, and Gary Vee does a post that reaches 30 million people, and there's, you know, 100,000 comments. If you're the only one of your friend group that commented, you'll be pushed to the top. And then every time your friends see a Gary Vee post, they'll say, "Oh, Meg's always the top comment on there." And no one knows that's how it works. No one knows that's how it works. So people see as, oh, this very prolific, popular, you know, guy who gets all these comments. I always see Meg's comment at the top. It really adds value and makes people realize that you're an insightful person that always has something good to say about this post. They don't even know that the reason your comment is pushed to the top is because you're the only friend of theirs that posted.
Yeah. Okay. They know now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that's the point of the podcast, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
We give out a couple secrets.
And that's an interesting one. I didn't know that to be the case.
Yeah.
So I have another question. When I post stuff on LinkedIn, I often will do a link to my blog. Should I be doing it that way, or should you post the whole story right there? Does it matter?
There's a couple ways to do it. So the benefit of linking to your own blog is so you can track it, right? You
Yeah,
get the
you
tracking.
send people to
You
the
can
website.
retargeting, things like that. There's a lot you can do if you own that visit. The other way I would go about it is posting a LinkedIn article, though.
Oh,
You familiar with that?
yes.
Yeah. So you can do a post, but you can also write a full article.
Yes.
And so, I wrote one, I think it was top 5 tips for killer SEO in 2019, right? So I wrote that article, I put my 5 tips, and now that's out there, and it's also rankable. That's the important part. This is kind of an SEO tip.
Interesting.
It's kind of a LinkedIn SEO tip in one, because LinkedIn is such a powerful domain.
Right.
And they rank most people. Most people who have a LinkedIn page, if you Google their name, it's going to be the top 3 results.
Absolutely.
It's not the first.
Right.
So LinkedIn ranks extremely well. So if you have a good piece of content, it's very likely that content will get more organic traffic and rank higher in Google if you use LinkedIn as the platform to publish rather than your own.
Okay.
Now that wouldn't be the case if you're a Wall Street Journal journalist.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But yeah, if you're a weaker site, let's say, than LinkedIn, which we all are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I qualify.
You're gonna get a lot better rankings and traffic out of hosting it there. So
doing a LinkedIn article.
Mm-hmm. So do a LinkedIn article, reference your blog in that LinkedIn article.
Okay.
So, you can still get some.
So you can do both, right?
Traffic.
I could put it on my blog and I could put it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the post, first of all, the post can't be super long. I don't know off the top of my head what the character count is, but there is a character count. So you can't do a super long article in a post anyway. And you've probably noticed the trend on LinkedIn where people, they almost just write sentence after sentence.
Yeah, right.
Right?
There's like lots of breathing space in there.
Because nobody will read the paragraphs.
Yeah, right.
If you put a paragraph, no one's going to read it.
Yeah.
So you put a sentence, a sentence, a sentence, a sentence, and then link to the full article after,
Yeah.
You're basically, you want to summarize it using bullet points almost,
Okay. And that's kind of what I've been doing.
Yeah. I mean, not bullet points per se, but just a sentence, then another sentence, make it very easily digestible at a glance.
Okay.
And then put your link in there. Because then people say, they'll scan over it for 5 seconds and say, wow, this really is interesting. Now let me read it.
Right.
But if you just post it in article form right off the bat, most people will just skim over that.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. It's too much.
Yeah. I mean, that's a trend in journalism period now.
Oh, for sure. People just
don't read the long form stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you either have to make it an infographic or put it in video form, or I've even seen some journalism sites that say, this is a 25-minute read. Click here for the 3-minute summary. And they'll literally summarize it in 3 minutes because they know people won't read the 30-minute.
But from an SEO perspective, aren't the longer articles better?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Google values that long form content.
Yeah. But people don't. So it makes it tricky. How do you, I guess you have to do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think that's why some of the top journalism sites now are doing it that way. It's an intro video, and then it's a summary, then you get the full article. So that way, Google and search engines, they see all of it. They say, wow, this is an article, it's a summary, it's an infographic all in one.
Yeah.
They love it.
Right.
And then the person that actually lands on that page will just kind of absorb the snapshot and move on.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And for people that are creating content, it's just a lot of work, right?
I know. Yeah. It's definitely a lot of work.
It is, but it could be very valuable.
Yeah. It goes such a long way on LinkedIn, and I honestly think it's only going to get better and better for at least the next year or two. Who knows what 5 years from now will bring?
Yeah.
If it gets overly crowded, overly spammed, but as of right now, it's working extremely well.
Okay, well, that's good to know. This has been really great. Thank you for all these tips and suggestions.
Yeah, I'm glad it was helpful. I hope it was helpful to people watching this at home or at the office.
I'm sure it was. I learned a lot. I'm sure you did too.
It's been great for me as well.
Tell our listeners and viewers how they can connect with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm on LinkedIn. First
we
of all,
figured that. Yeah.
I don't have a LinkedIn.
Yeah. So my website is searchmarketingagency.com.
Okay.
So that's my digital marketing agency.
He's pulling it up there for us.
Yeah. So we focus on SEO primarily. That's what we're known for. We've been doing this 15 plus years. We do white label SEO for agencies. So marketing agencies, digital agencies, ad agencies. We offer white label services for them. But yeah, LinkedIn's the best place to connect with me.
Okay.
Jesse Witham on LinkedIn, and
Okay.
connect with me, follow me, whatever. And that's where I put all my content. That's where I put out my tips and tricks and things like that.
Okay.
I'm pretty heavily engaged on there now.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And I see you on there too, so I know that you're on there and doing a great job and sharing great stuff for people.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
And thank you for being with us today. This was really great.
Yeah.
You've shared some great stuff. I'm going home and start doing my LinkedIn today because it's just amazing how much you could do with it. And I don't think people are taking, I know personally I'm probably doing a fraction of what I could be doing.
Yeah. Especially, I'll leave you with one story.
Yeah.
of a client that we did this for. They do recruiting for insurance agents. So they recruit insurance agents to the agency.
Okay.
And they we're paying, I think it's 15-20% of what the annual salary is, to a recruiter who does this type of thing. And recruiters now, they all use LinkedIn. That's how they do it.
They do it. Yeah.
So the smart companies are starting to skip the recruiters and just go straight to LinkedIn. And so this company, they started doing the connection outreach with a follow-up message asking if they'd be interested in, switching companies or in an interview. Very simple stuff.
Yeah.
Very basic stuff, just at a large scale.
Okay.
Very large scale, using multiple employee profiles.
Okay.
And pardon me, within not even 90 days of launching that, they had recruited more agents than the whole previous year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Immediately they just switched up their entire strategy, and now they're only using LinkedIn, and they were able to cut that 20% of the annual salary costs completely out, and they're just doing large scale LinkedIn recruiting only, and it's killing it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I hear stories like that all the time.
Well, and you're probably seeing some of those stories for your clients. Yeah. And for yourself. Have you had some success with that?
Well, that story is a client of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, myself, the last couple of years, I completely ceased any sort of advertising or outbound email marketing. I don't do any of it anymore.
Just LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's just LinkedIn. And it's working very, very well. So
that's amazing.
Let's hope it stays this way.
That's right. Well, thank you again, Jesse. We appreciate you being here today.
Yeah. Happy to be here. Thank you.
So if you like this podcast, please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And if you'd like more marketing tips and ideas for your business, visit our website, which is thebrandaccelerator.com. There's information on our blog, and we also have an e-blast that comes out every Monday morning, and you can get more tips and information there too. So thanks for being with us today on Marketing Mondays with Meg, and thank you, Matt Huwar from Berg Brothers Media, for producing. And until next week, be sure to inspire other business owners, because together we can change the world. See you next Monday.
All right.
Did we turn yours in?